Well, here's just a little thought or two on something that entered my life when I was a young person about your age. And I came through a really rough time growing up with a split up family. And at one given point in my life, I felt like nobody loved me, nobody cared. Sometimes you kids will go through something like that where you just feel like nobody cares about you. Well, I went through that and spent a lot of time. I did a lot of things I'm not happy with, but my uncle, who was a missionary, came and told me about Jesus' love for me when I was about 8 years old, and I accepted the Lord. But I did something that I think a lot of us go through. That was something I did, but I didn't follow up on it afterwards. And so I went kind of haywire for a long time in there, and I ran in a motorcycle gang. I spent time doing a lot of things I'm not happy about or proud of, but there's something that happened to me that I thought maybe it'd be interesting to you, is that I was hanging around a bunch of kids one time and I heard them talking about going to a Bible camp. And I thought, oh, well, it sounded like fun. I want to go. But they told me I couldn't because in their estimation, I was a bad guy and I wasn't, I wouldn't go to a Christian Bible camp. And I said, I can go to a Bible camp if I want to. And they said, no, you can't. And I said, yes, I can. Anyway, I decided I was going to go. So I saved up the money for myself, and I went to Bible camp. And the Lord touched my heart in one of the fireside meetings, and I was in my late teens then, and the Lord told me that I needed to do something with Him, not just say, hey, I'm saved, I'm good. So what I did was I rededicated my life to the Lord, and I went, when I got out of the camp, I moved from Seattle back up to Cedar Woolley, and I spent a lot of time working at changing my life. Now, there is something that I find that is true with most of you teenagers. You can be really faithful at the youth group, but when you get to a certain age bracket, you graduate from high school, and pretty soon God isn't as important to you as He used to be, and you start drifting away from the Lord. Well, that's not a good program. I went there. That is not good. But my theory is that we need to know, one of the things we need to know is that by our works and by our actions, we will show that we are saved. And it says that in John, in the Bible. And so we say, well, I'm a Christian. Prove it by how you act. And do you think about that when you're out with your friends, when you're out doing things, how you treat your friends, your family? Are you showing by your actions that you're saved? Now, if you're not, then I'd like to say you need to get a hold of one of the leaders and ask them, how do I get saved? And how do I turn my life over to the Lord? Because after I turned my life over to Him at Bible camp, things have not always been good, but God has taken care of me, and He's kept me alive. He's kept me with a lot of neat things. I could go on forever and tell you about the things He's done for me. But anyway, I'd like to encourage you to think about, if you're saved, do people see it?